All right, so today is day 3, the final day for this lesson. Next week we will start with 5.5. So today I wanted to concentrate on 3 different types of examples that we haven't done. So the first example is write a compound inequality for each graph. Okay, so basically this question you have to write the inequality given the graph. So for the first one, A. Okay, you see how the graph is everything in between? That should tell you that this represents an and. Okay, for part B, when they go in opposite direction, I'm gonna know it represents an or. Okay, so let's go back to A. Because this is an and, I'm gonna put my X in the middle. Okay, you start from left to right. So you look at the smaller number, so -2. In which direction is the shaded part going? It's going to the right, which means increasing. Okay, so that represents X is greater. So you see how the X is going to be in the middle? So I got to put the smaller number on the left-hand side. And this, I read it in terms of X. So X is greater than -2, open circle, right? So it doesn't have the equal. So then I look at my greater number, which is 4. Okay, so I'm going to write the 4 because those are my endpoints. Okay, now what does it say? From that point, I'm going to the left. That means it's decreasing, it's less than. But because it's a closed circle, it has to have the equal. So the X is what? Less than or equal to 4. So let me repeat that, okay? Because the graph is shaded in between the 2 endpoints, that tells me that's an and. That tells me that when I write the inequality, my X should be in the middle. The smaller number should be on the left-hand side. The greater number should be on the right-hand side. And I always read my inequality in terms of the variable. So I'm going to read it again. X is greater than -2. See, at -2, I'm going to the right. That represents greater. And then at 4, it goes to the left. So that represents less than or equal to 4. And this is your inequality. This is your answer. Okay? So now let's go to B. This is an or. So you know you're going to write the or in the middle. Okay? So let's go always to the left side. Okay? X is what? Less than or equal to -1 because it goes to the left, closed circle. Then I go here. X is what to the 2? It's going to the right. That means it's greater than 2. So my inequality is X is less than or equal to -1 because it goes to the left, or X is greater than 2. Okay, so this is how you write the inequality given the graphs. All right, so this is one of the type of examples that you're going to work on today for your homework. All right, question 2. All right, a little bit more challenging. Okay, you got to remember all your rules. So I need to solve this separately. So I'm going to add the 1. -16 plus 1 is -15. Then I have to divide by 5. I get n is less than -3. Okay. Or here I add 1. Then I divide by -3. And remember, what's the rule? That when I divide by a negative, I have to flip this symbol so it becomes greater than -3. Okay. So let's draw the number line. Let me put it here. -3. Okay. This says n is less than -3. Open circle at -3. This says n is greater than -3. So right here, going to the right. So basically, okay, your solutions are everything but -3. Okay. All right, so last question, which is your word problem, okay? It says 8 is less than a number. Remember, this, we switch the order, okay? So X is less than 8, right? I put that in the middle. Is no more than 14. This is your key word. No more than. No more than. So if it's not no more than, that means is what? If it's not no more than 14, that means it's less than 14. No more than 14. So less than or equal to 14. And you see that word and? That tells me this is going to be an inequality that's together. Okay, it's not going to have an or to separate it. Okay, so and no less than 5. No less than 5. No less than 5. No less than 5. What does that mean? That has to be what? In terms of your x, it has to be greater than 5. No less than 5. Is not less than 5. Okay, so it has to be greater or equal to 5. No less than 5. Okay, so let me repeat that again. I'm going to read it again to show you how I dissect this problem. Okay, it says 8 less than a number. You stop right there. You write your expression. You know the rule. When I see less than, I switch the order. Okay, is. Remember, is represents equal. No more than 14. So no more than represents less than or equal to 14. And, so that tells me this is an and inequality, not an or inequality. Okay? So I'm going to write the inequality without any space. No less than 5. That means x is greater or equal to 5. See how I read it in terms of the x. So now because this represents an and, I'm going to solve this all together. I have to isolate the x. That tells me I have to add 8 here, add 8 here. Okay? This cancels. I get less than or equal to 22, greater or equal to 13. So this is your answer. So this tells you x is greater or equal to 13. Okay? Less than or equal to 22. So when I read it, when I graph it, here's my 13. Here's my 22, right? Close circle. X is greater. Look how I read it. X is greater or equal to 13. That tells me at this point, I'm going to the right. Then I read it. X is less than or equal to 22. That tells me I'm going to the left from 22. So my graph should be everything in between these two endpoints. Okay, so this is what you guys are going to work on tonight. All right. I'm only giving you one assignment. I'm not having you to do 2 assignments. You're not going to have classwork and homework. You're just going to have one assignment in which you have to do on a separate sheet of paper and show all the work that I just showed you in my video. Okay. So if you have any questions, you just let me know.